said a gator drove a jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Scrolling my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah. When it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Yeah, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday. I am going to be real honest with you. I woke up, it was raining, and there was every bit of temptation to stay in bed. I don't know if anyone else in the chat is affected by the weather, but I very much am, and I will be very, very transparent that if I did not have to go out an adult and do an IEP meeting for the youngest, most ferals, I would have probably slept in. I would have been, in my PJs. I am glad that we got the verdict that we did in the Athena Strand case, but I am very much glad that that case is over. That has been one of the harder cases I've done. So I am excited to be able to hang out with Megan more. I do have several things that I will be working on this morning, though, so kind of for housekeeping. I do have the autopsy report in the David with a 4 in his name and Celeste Rivas, that case. So I will be looking through and going and making a video about kind of what's going on there. To kind of keep on top of that. And then I'll be looking for other trials that we can look at. If there are any upcoming trials that are, current and don't have any kiddos with them. If not, I was planning on next week doing a Sarah Boone rewatch, just as, she is kind of the perfect villainess, if you will. She is just so roundly dislikable that it is kind of easy to dislike her. And, I haven't pulled out the Sarah Boone wig in a while, so we need some shenanigans. We do have some really rough headlines, and I do want to caution you that 2 of the cases are really, really fresh. So while there are similarities, obviously these stories are really, really new, so there might be different stuff that comes out. Well, in heartbreaking news, and it does seem like every other day I am coming on to kind of, tell people or tell you all that we've lost another actor that was part of, shows that maybe weren't popular when we were kids, but we watched the reruns with our parents. Now, this particularly wasn't maybe a household name over here in America, but if you had any family that was, a bit of a Europhile or a, Englishophile, Fawlty Towers, or you loved Monty Python, Fawlty Towers actor Claire Nielsen has passed away at the age of 89. The actress who starred opposite of John Cleese has passed away. Claire Nielsen, who starred opposite John Cleese in one of the most iconic episodes of Fawlty Towers, has passed away at 89. Now, Claire played the glamorous guest Miss Hamilton, who arrived at the Fawlty Tower Hotel with her American husband during the second series of the show. Now, her husband was played by Bruce Boa and famously clashed with Basil over a Waldorf salad. Now, the hilarious scenes were from the second series and sees a furious Fawlty throwing all of the guests out of his establishment. The episode explores the perceived gulf in sophistication between American and Britain or British culture during the 1970s. Claire had previously spoken about her agent's fury after she told them she had accepted a role, and they feared that it would ruin her career. But obviously it didn't. She said back then, pretty young women who did light entertainment stopped being offered dramatic parts, but I always preferred comedy, so I didn't care. Now, tributes have been pouring in for Claire after the news broke. Fans of the iconic TV series wrote, rest in peace to the wonderful Claire Nielsen, actress from Faulty Towers, Waldorf Salad episode, among many other UK TV appearances. While growing up in Glasgow in the 1940s, Claire was bitten by the acting bug after she watched a performance of Swan Lake. She previously said, I remember thinking, that's where I belong, not in this sooty city. Now, she went on to play female parts in the two Ronnie sketches. She also appeared on The Dick Emery Show and Upstairs, Downstairs, as well as a Scottish Hogmanay show. I don't know what a Scottish Hogmanay is. This is definitely more skewed to UK if you were in the UK, kind of things, but I do know that, a lot of my family loves Monty Python, so they probably know more about who this person is. Now, staying in Europe for a bit, uh now, again, I am sure that local content creators are and European content creators are gonna have a lot more information about this, but disturbing details are emerging in an alleged murder plot targeting Dutch princesses, Katarina Amelia and Alexia. I have probably butchered those pronunciations. I've Americanized it. Oh, thank you, Audio Coffee. I was like, I have no idea what the hell that is. Maybe it's like the best friend of Haggis or like Hogwarts' younger brother. Oh, hey Joe, I'm so sorry. It's it's not easy to lose our best friends, and I wish there were words of comfort I could give you to take away all the pain, but there's not, and I'm sorry. Now, so they So people that are based more locally might have more information on the ins and outs of this. I'm just reporting what has been reported in, international media. A suspected far-right extremist believed he was in a romantic relationship with the future queen of the Netherlands when police foiled his sinister plot against the crown princess and her sister. Now, Anne Ramke van der Hey, 33, was under the illusion, oh, it's a man named Anne. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing this. Was under the illusion that he was going on a training mission to Poland with the Princess of Orange, Katerina Amelia, when he was found with two axes inside a hotel room in The Hague in February, according to prosecutors. Now, the crazed man sat quietly in court as they were revealing these details, leaned back with his hands folded on his lap while he made his first court appearance for the charges that he threatened two of the three Dutch princesses, according to a outlet. Now, Vander H was busted after hotel workers reported a disturbance to police from one of the other rooms. He said, quote, I'm going to kill them all, as he repeatedly shouted this from the room's balcony before he was arrested, according to prosecutors. Now, Vander H claimed that Katerina Amelia, the daughter of King Wilhelm Alexander and Queen Maxima, told him to purchase the axes as part of a survival kit for their joint mission to Poland. And that's exactly what he did, his attorneys claimed. Now, police said that they recovered the axes and found words such as Zig Heil and Mossad engraved on the handles, and Alexia, the name of Amalia's 20-year-old sister, was also found etched onto the axes. Now, a handwritten note that contained both of the princesses' names and the term blood-bought 400, Dutch for bloodbath, was found alongside the axes, according to prosecutors. Now, Vander H's lawyers claimed that the bloodbath was it, it was not a, intentional thing. It was the name of the mission. It was Mission Bloodbath over in Poland, which doesn't have any terrible connotation. Could Poland get a break? I mean, I'm just saying, Europe, if you wanna try something crazy, in this turn of the century, maybe give Poland a shot to be in charge. I'm again, how about we let anyone but Germany and Brussels be in charge? It's just an outside opinion, y'all can do with it what you want, I don't live there. So, if you guys would rather live with your own rules, that's fine too. Now, defense lawyers claim that the handwritten note was nothing more than like a mental health episode kind of down on paper. They say it was an incoherent, blend of words and pictures. They argued that the prosecutor's office had selected to include only the bloodbath and the names of the princesses and kind of obscure the other information. Uh, According to the defense. Now, Vander H., who has been in custody since his arrest, was ordered to remain behind bars after a judge ruled him a flight risk and believed that there was serious risk of repetition of more serious or additional threats. Now, the judge based his decision partly on the fact that Vander H. had previously been spotted near the Royal Palace Gardens and admitted to a clinic last year that he was not afraid to stab people. So it does seem like they are keeping, at least him out of abundant caution in prison. Now, the suspect is from a village called Uthasen, about 165 miles northeast of The Hague, also known to have undergone a psychiatric evaluation to determine whether he has any personality disorders. Given what was found in your possession, your statements on several occasions, and the fact that you were seen at the palace garden, we consider the suspicion strong enough, the judge said, according to a Dutch newspaper. Now, I am not fully aware, which is why I do encourage you to go to local sources if you want more information of kind of the judicial system and what requirements one would have to meet to get, a bond. What's the likelihood of anyone getting bond? I'm much more comfortable in the American judicial system. So I do not think, I am not sure, how out of the norm this is that someone would stay in prison. Now, he does allegedly have ties to the extreme far right. And good morning, Anima Rumpier. Now, the royal family has been warned, and I do believe that the security has been increased now that they have these kind of concrete threats. So do expect more of this to come out. But again, I would check local people because you know, I don't know anything about Netherlands law or, how that works. I'm assuming they work under a basic UK framework, but that could be incredibly different and nuanced compared to American, uh, law. Now, we have 2 of these stories, coming up next, and I do wanna say that we are dealing with a lot of things this year, and if you're struggling, if you are in a really dark place, please do reach out and talk to someone. I think you'll find that a lot of us, have struggled too, and it's not a shameful thing, but really, there are resources out there 24 hours a day, a hotline, I think they've got a chat room. Don't make a permanent choice based on a temporary dark time in your life. Now, um, it is emerging and information is coming out about a famous RV lifestyle blogger husband and wife who were found dead in a campground just days after posting smiling pictures as a family. So it does look like, and it is tentatively being labeled a self-deletion red rum. A woman who happily blogged about the life she shared with her husband while living in an RV on a Florida campground was tragically found no longer living alongside him. Anissa Osborne, 56, can be seen smiling and holding a bouquet of roses next to her husband, Christopher Osborne, 51. In images posted to Facebook, Anissa used to document their life living in an RV. Now, early Sunday, neighbors at Ocean Pond Campground in Ossety called police after they were unable to get in contact with the couple, according to local media. Now, authorities arrived on scene and they found both of the occupants no longer living inside their RV. They had both suffered fatal gunshot wounds. Now, the investigators do believe that this was a self-deletion red rum in which Christopher first took the life of his wife and then took his own life. Now, obviously, they don't really have any idea as to what exactly happened, and I wouldn't expect that we would have any of that information for a while. They'll be doing interviews, talking to close friends, and possibly looking through their electronics and things like that. So I'm guessing we'll have more information, but it is going to take a real investigation. So we might not have answers for a while. Now, the couple's family members are struggling to make sense of that being a possibility, with Christopher's aunt telling local news that it really doesn't make any sense. Now, in all of the photos posted to Instagram and Facebook, where Anissa documented their life living in an RV under username at Osborne RV Life, the couple appeared to be happy, sharing hugs and holding hands. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook aren't real life. I don't know who needs to hear this. And that's what I'm saying. If you're struggling, it's not a sign of weakness if you need help. It's that you've been strong too long. And I know it seems scary to, open up, but there are so many people that are out there to help that will not judge you. So do think about reaching out. So, like I said, there is a lot of confusion from family members and friends. There didn't seem to be any sort of clue or any sort of warning signs that anything like this was even a possibility. So it really does, look like kind of a mystery right now. I am sure that the police will do more background information. And unfortunately, this is not the only headline of this sort today. Now, in Texas, a prominent Houston restaurateur and their two small children seem to have gone the same way. I don't get the kids. I don't get the kids. I don't get the wife, but I really don't get the kids. A prominent Texas restaurateur allegedly took the life of his business partner wife and their two children before taking his own life inside their home, according to authorities and reports. Matthew Mitchell, 52, and Ty Mitchell, 39, along with their 8-year-old and 4-year-old, were found deceased in their River Oaks home on Monday evening, according to the Houston Police Department. Now, police made the grim discovery after responding to a welfare check at 5:30 p.m. when a family babysitter and a relative reported that they had not heard or seen from the family since the previous night. Now, evidence on the scene indicated that this was, again, another red rum self-delete sort of situation. But obviously, they haven't ruled it completely officially as that, but that is what the evidence is indicating at this early time. Now, Matthew and Ty Mitchell were known around the Houston community as the owners of Traveling Table, a restaurant serving globally curated cuisine inspired by their family's travels across the world. They later opened another restaurant called Traveler's Cart, serving global street food, according to local outlets. Now, the couple's restaurants had been featured on the Food Network's programming, including diners, drive-ins, and dives, and one of their chefs appeared on Beat Pavi Flay, where he defeated the celebrity chef. So he does look like they had a lot of success. Unfortunately, what we see on the outside is not always the truth. So hopefully we do learn more about this, and maybe we learn what signs to look for, danger signs, warning signs, so we can help, because it does seem like there is a lot of mental health going on in the male community. And look, I have boobs. I don't presume to speak for men. I don't presume to know how to best help a man deal with depression, anxiety, and the stressors of life. But I do know that in some of these things, we're losing men. I don't know, Greedy Bloke, if this is a trend or it was just both of these stories broke at the same time. But, we always talk about the mental health crisis. I don't think we've talked a lot about how how to address male mental health crises. And as a woman, I don't, like I said, I don't presume to know what would be the best way. It Do men need men's only spaces where they can, talk to other men? W we talk a lot about what women need to feel comfortable, and I'm not like Pearl. Look, y'all, I'm not going full Pearl, because, but I am acknowledging that the way that women seek support and comfort and, are able to communicate and get support from each other might be incredibly different than what men need to feel supported. And like I said, I'm not, what was it, Jack Murphy or Pearl, but we need to talk about this. You have a lot of men, you have a shifting world where they do still have the desire to be providers, but women are also becoming much more capable. What I'm just saying, could we maybe just have a normal talk? That being said, I will keep an eye on this particular story to see if they have more coming out. I always, tell you guys, look at local creators. They might have more of a skinny of what their life was like around Houston, or things like that. But do be aware that this is definitely going to be, fully investigated. So the scuttlebutt you hear around the internet might not be very accurate. So until a report comes out or the police make an official report, do kind of be mindful that internet scuttlebutt is not admissible in court. Now, I mean, this is not, look, y'all know I'm not mainstream media, but I will give you guys reports because, y'all, why does it have to be one of my favorite chips? You know, I'm just saying. Now, I'm glad I don't have the Zap salt and vinegar or the dirty potato salt and vinegar, but I like the thick cut, kettle style chips. Well, if you have bought any of these particular brands of chips, there is a major recall that is going out over fears of salmonella contamination. Utz Quality Foods LLC, a subsidiary of the Pennsylvania-based Utz brand Inc., has recalled some varieties of its Zaps and dirty potato chips due to a potential contamination linked to milk powder. Now, the impacted chips have a seasoning that contained dry milk powder manufactured by California dairies, which may have been contaminated with salmonella, according to the Food and Drug Administration. Now, the company noted in the recall that the affected seasoning batches did test negative for salmonella prior to use, but they are recalling the chips out of an abundance of caution. Now, to date, there have been no complaints of illnesses reported to the parent company or the, subsidiary. But the FDA does warn against eating the recalled products because, you could get salmonella. The FDA does encourage you to return your chips to the company for a refund. Now, if you do eat it, it could cause salmonellosis, one of the most common bacterial-borne food kind of illnesses. Now, typically, if you do contract, salmonella, it lasts for about 4 to 7 days, and it's not life-threatening. The issue becomes if you are very dehydrated, if you are immunocompromised with anything else. Dehydration seems like a very small thing, but it can set off a cascade of other symptoms if you are immunocompromised. So, don't eat the chips. Just don't. Well, I think, Baker was covering this one, but it seems like, Stefan Diggs' ex-personal chef was goofing around at a colleague's apartment days after the alleged assault. Stefan Diggs' personal or ex-personal chef was goofing around and dancing and enjoying herself at a colleague's home just days after the NFL star allegedly choked her as pictured by video at the tail end of the trial. Now, Jamelia Adams, who worked as a live-in cook for the NFL wide receiver at his Massachusetts mansion, crashed at ex-coworker Z Charles's home for about a week following the alleged assault. Now, Tally Moses, the last witness in the two-day trial, captured a seconds-long clip of Adams, which was shown to the jury hours before Diggs was acquitted. "We were in X's room there goofing around, listening to music and dancing and stuff," Moses testified. In the video, Adam sidesteps to the beat of the song being played on the television while her friends are laughing. Yeah, maybe if you're gonna accuse someone of being physically horrible to you, don't be happy, laughing, and dancing around. Now, Moses admitted that Adam's behavior at the time didn't align with her claims surrounding the purported attack. Prosecutor Drew Virtue noted that Adams hadn't shared the allegations with anyone in Diggs's circle because of how much they relied on his good graces, both financially and personally. Diggs was a sometimes lover, boss, landlord, athlete, celebrity, financially powerful, and surrounded by people who were all on his payroll and liked him. Her behavior does make sense. Mm, Now, Charles, who Adams stayed with for a week after the alleged assault, was employed as Diggs' hairdresser. Virtue, too, admitted that Adams wasn't the perfect witness in part because of her complicated relationship with Diggs, said that didn't mean you should throw away everything she said. Meanwhile, Diggs's lawyer, Andrew Kettlewell, said the prosecution's whole case relied on Adams' word and was otherwise moot. When Adams took the stand on Monday, she cried while testifying that Diggs allegedly slapped her with an open hand and choked her at his home on December 2nd. Now, the day of the purported attack, Adams said she had texted Diggs from her bedroom in his house about how she was upset he wasn't taking her to Miami for the Art Basel Expo, even though she had been planning to coordinate her outfits with Diggs's girlfriend, Cardi B. Uh, What was that ish you were talking? Adams recounted Diggs, asking before he allegedly smacked her. He took his arm, came around my neck with his elbow, and began choking me, she said during tears. Now, Adams worked for Diggs from July to December 2025, making approximately $2,000 a week. Now, she claims that she and Diggs also had a smexy time relationship before he hired her. 3 weeks ahead of the trial, Adams' lawyer may have demanded $5.5 million from Diggs. Sure, but she dodged all inquiries relating to the purported payout. Now, Diggs pled not guilty and was acquitted on Tuesday afternoon. He did face up to 5 years in prison on the strangulation charge and 2.5 years in jail on the misdemeanor assault charge. So that was interesting. Now, the rest of these headlines, I swear to goodness, y'all, buckle in because our timeline, did someone turn on CERN again? Did someone figure out string theory? Like how are these headlines? We've come to the favorite part, or my favorite part of the show, where What in the rapture? What in the Walmart rapture? Because it's this timeline. Y'all buckle in. We've got a lot.
The G-Keep Grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Well, I mean, if there's anyone you can listen to, it's a guy with aliens in his background and a really cool mic. Religious leaders are being told to prepare now for UFO disclosure to unleash Bible changing revelations. Influential pastors are claiming they have been told to prepare their followers for shocking revelations about UFOs, which may upend, all the Abrahamic religions. Notice they didn't say imams. I'm just throwing it out there. Now, Perry Stone, a well-known evangelist, author, and Bible teacher from Tennessee, warned that fellow pastors were recently invited to a secret meeting with U.S. intelligence officials to prepare for the release of secret files on, well, extraterrestrials. Now, according to Stone, and I mean, wearing that shirt, how could you not believe him? The officials warned a small group of pastors with a large reach in the Christian community that the government was about to release reports and possibly videos of aliens and spacecraft which were not from this planet. Now, in the April 27th video posted to his YouTube channel, oh my God, we are so watching this. Okay, first I have to see if he copyright strikes, but oh my Bob Ross, we are watching this. Let me write this down because my brain is such that if I don't write it down right now, I will forget it. But what is his name? Perry Stone. Okay, we are looking this up because I need to hear what his idea on the catillions is. Now brace yourself. Take out your roll of quarters. I know you got them, and start flicking them in to the, Alex Jones was right. Now, according to the evangelist, they were told about the existence of reptilian creatures, UFOs, and materials from a non-human origin and other things that almost sound like they're something out of a sci-fi movie. On February 19th, President Trump ordered the Pentagon and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to release all information the government possesses regarding UFOs and alien life. Now, last week, Trump said that one of the first files could be released very, very soon and would contain some very interesting things for the public. Everyone's worried about catillions. I'm over here like, please tell me I'm a catillion. Look, people are weird. I am willing to come out as the first catillion because, honest to God, people are weird. And this goes with my theory that I was left behind on an alien, scouting mission. And we look close enough to humans that, I have managed to blend. But I'm confused. So is Bigfoot an alien? I mean, now officials however, officials in this alleged secret meeting said the information on its way may cause some Christians to question how the universe was created and maybe even lose their faith. Oh my God, they're going to start listening to REM, which, I mean, it's a really good song when you consider it's played on an electric mandolin. I mean, we really don't have enough mandolin rock songs. Stone said, you're going to have people who are going to say if there's galaxies and there's allegedly other creations in the other galaxies, then the whole creation story is a myth. And you're going to have some people that are going to apostatize and turn from the Christian faith because they have no answer for what they're about to hear. Now, Stone also claimed that government officials warned these religious leaders that non Christians may panic and also turn to church for answers. They're going to freak out and they're going to come to pastors, ministers, and teachers and say, "What is this? Is this really real?" Now, this reported meeting involved approximately 6 Christian leaders, including Bishop Alan Dado of the Revival Nation Church, who confirmed he was part of the extraordinary gathering. Now, Diadu said that it seemed like half a dozen people were gathered in an Airbnb in the mountains of Tennessee discussing an investigation of what's going on in the United States government against crimes that have been committed in the process of retrieving and reversing engineering technology from non-human intelligence. The meeting also went forward to discuss the propaganda plan that was in place leading up to the disclosure, according to the pastor. Another reported attendee, American evangelist and podcaster Tony Merkel, added that the government officials who held the meeting expressed concerns about the impact of UFO disclosure on organized religion. Merkel said, "I came in contact with these guys more than a year ago, and I've been in touch with them, communicating with them, and their heart is to prepare the body of Christ for what's coming." Okay, now I'm just putting it out there. Is it possible that this is a prank? Because now I understand going through with this is kinda hurtful and mean, but this sounds like something I would prank someone with. Legitimately, this sounds like a hoax that I would do to see if anyone would buy it, and then when people did, it would snowball. Like, you'd see Mo in my garage, like, trying to decoupage an alien because I have this weird thing that I can be completely sarcastic and be completely taking the piss, and people feel like I'm speaking truth. It's a terrible, terrible superpower, which is why I don't use it because it confuses me because I'm like, "Legitimately, anyone believes me? Like, the stuff I say, you hear the stuff that comes out of my mouth when I don't have a filter, and you still believe me?" I'm always just shocked. Now, these guys are part of it. Let's just say they're Christians in intelligence operations, and they're specifically geared toward initially, it was gathering evidence and data on what's actually going on behind the scenes within the disclosure community. Now, the 3 pastors were also warned that when the US government finally releases the historic report about UFOs and extraterrestrials, it will not but just be surprising news. They believe it will be part of a plot designed to pull people away from faith in Jesus. I'll allow it. Can we have Nicolas Cage be in these movies too? Look, y'all, I'm not saying that I'm prepared for the rapture. But I'm pretty sure I'm getting left behind. Okay, let's be real. I make way too many jokes about way too many people. That being said, if I am left behind, I am finding Nicolas Cage. I am making him speak to me in that god awful Southern accent from Con Air, and we are having ourselves a dandy of a time. I mean, that's what my plans are, for the forthcoming rapture. I will make Nicolas Cage my best friend. I've added Britney Spears to that as well. I'm just saying, I think we have a winning team. She's dances with knives, and he's dancing with crazy, and hell, if we get Chris Watkins up there, I'm safe in water too. That's an old joke. Now, it does seem like there was a meeting, at least, multiple people are saying that there was a meeting, but I don't know. I mean, I figure that yes, there is life on other planets, but you cannot convince me that we are not the ghetto Walmart of the galaxy. You cannot convince me. So I will keep you guys updated on the potentiality of demonic catillions and when they will come, to our planet, or are we gonna have a oh my gosh, are we gonna have another immigration? Can you imagine intergalactic Republicans? Look, I get that the quadrant, I get that the Gloop Glorp quadrant has, nova stars and things going on, but the world cannot take all the refugees from the universe. I'm here for it. I mean, we can't even get interglobal politics together. I need to see the globe stumble on the intergalactic, stage. Oh my god, could you imagine trying to pick out a leader among all of us ding-dongs? 'Cause, kinda like J.K. Rowling said, the ideal leader is the guy that doesn't want the job. And I sort of want the job just to laugh at humans. I I love it. I would go to the Intergalactic Federation, and I'd be like, "Look, I don't identify as human," and they'd be like, "Taryn, shut up." I'd be like, "No, no, seriously, like, I don't go to their school, like, I don't know them. Like, they tried to make fetch happen. I'm here with the cool ones, okay? Like, I'll give you the skinny." I'd be like, "Get the hillbillies from all the countries." Because I will contend, because I have thought about this, but oh, for the love of Cheetos. Hmm. I will contend that what binds us together is our Appalachian, roots. Every culture has a hillbilly segment. Every culture. And I think the world would be a better place if we just got all the hillbillies of every culture together to start our own planet. Look, we won't put on airs. We take care of what we want. We hunt and we fish and we, grow our own food. We're self-sufficient. We don't take crap off of no one, but we'll give you the shirt off our back. We may not tell the most politically correct jokes, but we go to church on Sundays. But we don't care if you don't go to church. We'll still pray for you anyways. And we might say, bless your heart in a not so nice fashion, but we're not going to shank you. Again, yes. I contend that there are hillbillies or hill chucks, the unrefined, the rube, the rural people. We all get together, we all know what to do, we share our various skill levels, and we leave each other alone. This is how you achieve world peace. You simply have to get all the hillbillies of different nations together. We will leave ourselves alone, we will teach each other different skills, and it will be a I mean, I'm cool with it. Rednecks unite. I can learn from, every single redneck. I'm just saying. So, UFOs, I reverse Uno card you with meet the hillbillies of all cultures. We're not refined, we'll tell you like it is. Don't go to our politicians, aliens. If you wanna, deal with the real people, come to the hillbillies. Well, you guys, does anyone have a violin? Someone? Not this year, you guys. The timeline of absurdity was almost full, but we won't get Kim Kardashian Esquire this year. Kim Kardashian. I feel like we should have sad music. Let me see if I can find sad music. Sad music. Oh, I don't know. Let's see here. No, definitely not sad music. Kim Kardashian is reportedly taking a break again, well, from taking the California bar exam. It's been a hard year. Insiders claim that the Kardashian star, 45, skipped the February exam and has no plans to try again in July, according to TMZ. Now, those who are looking to test are offered 2 tries per year, but the sources close to Kim K say the fashion mogul won't be planning to try again until 2027. A rep for Kardashian didn't immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. Yeah, I mean, can't you imagine her in the courtroom? Now, Kardashian has only taken the state of California bar exam one time. However, she has also taken the California baby bar exam, which is required for entrance to her legal apprenticeship program, three times before she finally passed it on her fourth try in 2021. Now, the reality star, who also portrays a lawyer on Ryan Murphy's All Fair, confessed to failing the bar exam last November after her July attempt. Well, I'm not a lawyer yet, she wrote on her Instagram story announcing the news. I just play a very well dressed one on TV. 6 years into this law journey, and I'm still all in until I pass the bar. No shortcuts, no giving up, just more studying and even more determination. As you do. Now, news of her decision to step away comes as no shock for those following along with Kardashian's legal career journey. In December, she candidly admitted that her failure broke her confidence. I took a minute to process that, and instantly, when I got my results, I didn't feel good about it. I was really uncomfortable and not confident for a while. You get the results on a Friday, and I knew Sunday morning they were going to be live on the internet. So I wanted to mention it first and let people know it didn't go my way. Now, Kardashian has opened up about her study process on an episode of The Kardashians. I have been marked safe. Like, I think I might be like the rare unicorn female from the Gen Lennial set that has never seen an episode of The Kardashians. Not a one. I don't even know who the three sisters are half the time. I only know Kim because she was married to Kanye, and they wouldn't stop photographing them. Now, in the episode, she tearfully shared that she felt like she was having a mental breakdown due to the strenuous study required for the test. I am absolutely gonna cry because it's like effing exhausting, she told the camera as she got emotional, saying she'd hit a wall with her prep. I threw my back out, and it's like every time I think I get another step, something pulls me back, she lamented, explaining how she could hardly walk and that she still could hardly even sit. Well, Kim K, there's always 2027. Now, what in forget paranormal activity. This is the stuff that scares me to death. A couple discovered a man living in their basement after noticing that food was missing and items were being moved around their house. No, no, absolutely no. An Arkansas couple noticed that food and clothing was going missing from their home, only to find that there was a whole person just living in their basement. On April 29th, Dutch Hoggett and his wife Sharon discovered that Preston Landis had allegedly been living in their Searcy home for several days. The couple noticed that their items were moving around or disappearing, but assumed that they were just slowly going crazy. I came in looking for my work shoes. I always leave them by the back door. My work boots were gone, Hoggett told the outlet. I asked my wife if she'd thrown them away, and she'd not. Well, she said she hadn't. Over time, we noticed that chairs were beginning to move around the house, and we noticed some of our food was missing. They found a deadbolt on the door locked when neither of them had touched it, and chairs seemed to move from one place to another all on their own. Now, donuts and apples were mysteriously eaten while the couple was out of the home. Their daughter, Circe, and son in law, Mark, decided to help search the home to ease the couple's anxiety while Hoggetts were away at church. Holy, oh, hell no. You wake up to this over you? Look, this dude is lucky he did. We stay strapped in the South. I am surprised this man walked out because holy, what in the Ichabod Crane? Okie dokie. Yeah, no, no, not gonna. What in the name of? We stopped by our house. I grabbed a bat and a force multiplier just in case, Gregory said, because we didn't know what to expect. Now, during their search, Sharon crept into the storage area in the basement where she saw a leg peeking out from under the stairs. I could see that she was freaked out, so they backed out of the room and I went in, Gregory said. Now, Sharon immediately called 911 as the family tried to coax Landis, 41, out of his hiding place. At first, Landis sat quietly, then Gregory yelled at him to get out and began hitting the door with his baseball bat. Landis scampered out of the house without issue, though barbed wire marks had previously scarred his face, he told officials. Now, the family alleged that the man had first entered the home through a crawl space on April 27th to take shelter from severe weather in the area. Now, Landis made his way to the basement by April 28th, where he constructed a makeshift bed in the basement storage closet. Yeah, don't do this. Don't do this. Gregory sat and talked with Landis until the White County Sheriff's Office arrived. I don't think he was trying to be a bad guy, Gregory said. There was plenty of opportunities where he could have taken things, and it seemed like he was just trying to get out of the elements and survive. Now, Landis was arrested and charged with residential burglary and theft of property. Searcy said he apologized before being whisked away from her parents' house. He said, "Tell your folks that I'm really sorry, and they seemed like nice people." Although he allegedly swiped food and clothing, the Hoggets shared that nothing of value was missing. The family said they knew Landis wasn't really a threat, but, still, don't do this. We're not angry at this man, Hoggett said. I feel sorry for that man. I'm glad we figured out there was someone living in the house because this could have gone on for much longer than it did. Now, Hoggett is a professor at Harding University, where he teaches in the communication department. Now, according to a LinkedIn page associated with Landis, the suspect attending Harding University between 2008 and 2011. He's worked as a door manufacturer, pipe bender, and lumber grader. Now, Landis was booked in the White County Sheriff's Office, and his bond has been set for as $15,000. So, yeah, don't do this, because no. Now, I usually save these but I am tired of this man whining, so we are sending this doofus directly to Snake Island. One more whiny little "I am the victim" comes out. Look, Duggar, I'm not in the mood today. You can miss me with this noise. I don't think you're a
It's a
victim.
curse, we got room for the wicked, the cruel, and the worst. If you lie, if you cheat, if your soul's made of bile, you're bound for the fangs and the venom in style. Whoa, one-way ticket to Snake Island. Oh, where the cops, less cowards and gaslighters go. No anchor, no lifeboat, no tearful goodbyes. Trust isn't uncommon in cold-blooded skies. Best of your friend.
Well, won't someone really think of the real victim, Josh Duggar? Yes, he's being whining again about being cut from the reality show and lack of family support after victimizing his sisters. Well, Josh is complaining again about being cut from the family's reality show and said that no one supported him after it was revealed that he abused his sisters in 2015. The disgraced 19 Kids and Counting star, 38, wrote a message to his mother, Michelle Duggar, from jail stating that he and his wife, Anna, were devastated by how the family dealt with the scandal. No, you're out the clan, dude. Now, Duggar said that no one banded together to stand with us and that they were kept at arm's length by most of the family and cut off of public view of the TV. He also asked his mother to please consider your role and change so that other children are not in same situations later. Though his parents, Michelle and Jim Bob, admitted that they knew what he had done to his sisters, he was never charged with those accusations. Now, the message to his mother was sent after Duggar was convicted for possessing child grossness material in 2022, and he is serving a 12-year and 7-month, sentence in federal prison. Duggar, who is the oldest of the 19 siblings, acknowledged that his mother supported him privately following both incidents, and he said it felt as though there were 18 kids and life went on. Notably, Duggar recently defended his younger brother, Joseph, 31, following his arrest for alleged SA of a 9-year-old girl. So there is a lot to unpack here, and I do want to look at the documents that are involved in this particular case. But I would not be shocked if we don't hear more coming out about this particular family. It seems like sex was so completely taboo that it was so completely secretive that normal biological things became sinful and evil, and normal bodily reflexes and desires were labeled as sin. That if you're not able to freely express yourself within boundaries, there you can have a Christian family and not be this way. uh I Hey, if this brand of Christianity works for you, that is fine, but it's not me. But I do worry that this is going to be something that is going to be found out with other children in this family as they reach adulthood. I don't think we've heard the final story in all that went on behind the scenes as far as this kind of stuff, and I would imagine we might actually get other, information as more of the children grow up uh, and start exerting their own autonomy over their own religious and spiritual, choices and desires, and how they desire to worship. So, it's a speculation, but I think we might see more of the brothers possibly accused. Now, who keeps inviting this chick places? 'Cause I don't blame this chick, I blame the people that keep inviting her places, and not to a jawologist. Look, there is something wrong there. You do not Who sits around trying to look like a Habsburg? Who does this? Who keeps inviting her places? I mean, I know Disney doesn't wanna remember who this chick is, but yes, someone invited Rachel Zegler and her jaw, apparently with different invitations because 'cause they're in different zip codes, to the Met Gala. I don't know why. I don't know who continues to try to make this woman happen. Look, Hollywood, entertainment people, we don't like Pedro Pascal, and stop trying to make this chick happen. She's not gonna. We told you the same with Brie Larson. Daisy Ridley is a sweet woman, but she shouldn't have been in Star Wars. We told you all of this. We keep telling you, and yet you keep trotting Rachel Zegler and her jaw, as co-stars together. Why? Snow White star, although that that's paradoxical. How can you be a star if you lost the company money? Has again been brutally mocked over her strange facial expressions at the 2026 Met Gala on Monday. The actress, 25, who suffered a gigantic cratering in her career potential after the controversial Disney flop last year, sparked concern with her pose during the glitzy event held at New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art. She was seen jutting her jaw out and pouting as she modeled a stunning Atelier Parabole Garang gown accessorized with Jennifer Behr custom silk mask. That's ribbon. That's ribbon that someone found at Joann's Fabric. Don't even lie to me. I have crafted and made my own ridiculous costumes. That is some damn ribbon wire. Don't even talk to me. I just don't get this. I mean, who wants to be a Habsburg? Oh, maybe she's practicing for hibachis. You go to the Japanese steakhouse and they cut up all the food. Now, as an inside cat, this is not my favorite part of the meal, but as an outside golden retriever, it is my husband's favorite part of the meal, where they throw food at your face and you try to catch it. Now, that is not my cup of tea. It is my husband's favorite part. So I will usually pass at getting food thrown at me because I've had 6 toddlers and, it's not a magical experience anymore. So maybe she's practicing. She's like, "Imma catch the zucchini this time, I swear." What is going I really don't get it. So people are wondering what the hell is wrong with this chick and her face. Now, while Ziegler did confirm that the blindfolded was a reference to Paul de Roche's famous 1833 painting, The Execution of Lady Jane Grey, who was beheaded in 1545 for high treason, fans were left baffled by her over the top, sultry expressions. One person wrote, "What is with her face? Does she have TMJ?" Others wrote, "Is she struggling to breathe? Why is she doing that?" Can Instagram gang confirm if these are new poses to try to look cute? What actually is wrong with her face? Does she do that on purpose? Now, other ex users defended the star and claimed that she was getting into character, writing, "I don't want to be in the position of defending these people, but you appear ignorant with this critique." The theme was costumes. She has a corset facing the incorrect way and a blindfold with anguished facial expression to exemplify the juxtaposition between wearing a beautiful costume and the pain it requires. A second typed, "Mocking her jaw movements is like body shaming and not okay. The Met Gala is for bold artistic expressions. Criticize if you want, but leave people's appearances alone. She's very pretty." Okay, Rachel, we believe you. Now, Zegler got out of her sock puppet count, allegedly, and broke her silence on Tuesday, revealing she found the red carpet nerve-wracking, not jaw-cracking, because I think you're missing it. She wrote on Instagram, "I really did feel very beautiful last night. These high visibility moments are so much more nerve-wracking than I let on. Thank you, Parbell, for the dress of my dreams, and to Anna and the Vogue team for having me. And thank you always to my village of creative friends and collaborators that help boost my confidence every time." You need to get better friends. They are making you look like a moron. Whoever told you to do this jaw thing, look, Hannah doesn't like you. Hannah hates you. Do not listen to your girlfriends. Do not listen to your gay friends. They are in competition with you. Talk to a middle America man and say, "Does this look sexy?" And you know what he's going to say? He's going to say, "You look like a terrier with an underbite." That is not sexy. You wanna be sexy to a Midwest man, all you gotta do is tell him you got a meatloaf in the oven and you bought a new bass boat. I'm just saying. Wield your powers correctly, ma'am. I just can't get over her face. In our final story, because, oh my god, move over Jussie Smollett, move over the Osundairo brothers. We have a new set of brothers who are scamming their way to, glory. 2 Ohio brothers posed as Middle Eastern royalty. Unfortunately, they did not, well, crime doesn't pay, and they're about to pay big time because they've received a lengthy sentence for over $21 million that they, well, defrauded people out of. 2 Ohio brothers who posed as Middle Eastern royalty were sentenced Tuesday for their roles in a series of fraud schemes totaling roughly $21 million, which prosecutors say were carried out with the help of a former East Cleveland mayoral aide. Zubar and uh, Mazzali al-Zubar, roughly 42 and 31, were sentenced to 24 and 23 years in prison, respectively, according to local Cleveland outlets. "You stole a lot of money, defrauded people, and put East Cleveland in a terrible light," U.S. District Judge Donald Nugent said, referring to the brothers. "You basically flaunted it by driving around in a Rolls Royce and taking private planes." The mayor chief of staff, the pair bribed, 56-year-old Michael Smedley, was also sentenced to just over 8 years behind bars for providing the brothers with the cover they needed to carry out their schemes between 2020 and 2023. Now, authorities said the brothers built a facade of extreme wealth and elite connections, with Zubair falsely claiming to be married to a United Arab Emirates princess, and Mazami claiming to be a hedge fund manager based solely on watching YouTube videos. I mean, you can't hate the player, or you can't hate the game. I mean, s people bought it. Their lavish lifestyle ultimately included private jets, luxury watches, a fleet of high-end vehicles, dozens of firearms, and even a custom-made gold-plated AK-47 style rifle. They also chartered private jets for domestic and international shopping trips to destinations such as Aspen, Miami, London, Bucharest, and Madrid, according to federal officials. Now, prosecutors say over the years, the brothers carried out multiple schemes to steal money and properties from victims, including Zubair's former girlfriend from the UAE, who lost 737,000, according to the outlet. Now, another major scheme involved the brothers allegedly bilking a Chinese investor out of nearly $18 million by falsely claiming that they owned an industrial complex and would bring cryptocurrency businesses to the site. To facilitate their crimes, prosecutors say the pair corrupted Smedley with expensive gifts and meals, along with cash payments, Cleveland Brown sweet tickets, a prized Japanese Wagyu beef selection, cigars, and upscale dinings, along with promises of future employment. Now, in exchange, prosecutors said Smedley abused his city position to assist the brothers. He was accused of attempting to secure state funding for their businesses, providing official city letterhead and issuing them police credentials, and formally appointing Zubair as International Economic Advisor for East Cleveland. Because Dubai, Emirates, they are all clamoring to get to East Cleveland. Following a 2-week trial, all three men were convicted by a federal jury of conspiracy to commit bribery involving programs receiving federal funds, conspiracy to commit honest services wire fraud, and Hobbs Act conspiracy. Now, the brothers were additionally convicted of multiple counts of wire fraud, money laundering, and theft of. We got almost all the way through. Daggone it. We had almost y'all, I am incognito. I don't have a bajillion and 7, tabs open, but Mr. Mo is looking at how to embiggen the RAM and debiggen what. Look, he is looking at the computer, y'all. Y'all know I don't don't know what's going on. It is working way better now that I know what's going on. I seem to be able to, like, tweak it to where it's working better. So, so close. Uh, but let's see, housekeeping. So I have a bunch of errands to run today, but, I will be on with Megan, at 1 PM, or I'll have to double check with her. I have an IEP meeting, and then we'll be ready to go. I He is the computerologist. But, that's what I'm planning to do. We will probably do some shenanigans. I do wanna get that video, out about the autopsy report and the David with a 4 in his name. Do be mindful that there are some incredibly graphic details. Like I said in the Athena trial, I'm going more for CSI and not Saul, so I will be probably presenting it in my restrained and respectful way, but do be mindful that, it it's very blunt, and this young lady suffered a lot of trauma to her body. So I do wanna give you a bit of a warning, but that will be out, and I will be working on getting more chapters of our book for our book club done. There have been a lot of things that have kind of been on hold because the Athena case just took a lot out of me at the end of the day, so we will be getting back on to that, but I am going to let you guys go. Be sure to have a wonderful day, and remember, spread a little kindness around. as I always tell you, be kind to yourself. We are reading Small Sacrifices uh, by Anne Rule. There is a lot of evidence. I want to do it justice, so I'm going to start looking into it today. I just with the Athena trial, I knew that my brain was not gonna be able to intake anything else until that was done. So, I will be looking at that stuff. I do have the autopsy report, and then, probably the latest releases in Delphi. I know that, the book club is behind a paywall, but I will be reading the appellate brief and the response, the state's response, so I am getting back into that, so there will be more options, to have kind of me in the background just reading to you because that is something you guys have asked for. I just have not had the energy. By the time I click off on the end of Athena, I was done. I will be putting the craft stuff on, Rumble now that I have a couple days, this week to kind of have more time to fiddle with things. I will be working on that as well. So, do expect a framing video, how to get started video with on the craft thing this week, and then we'll be going and moving forward. Hopefully, we will find a trial that we want, or we will be retro Sarah Booning it next week. But those are kind of the plans. And I will see you later today on Megan's stream. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because kindness doesn't equal doormat. Bye, you guys.